That's this week's firewood cutting montage. We've got that under there. I'm going to leave plenty of pipe to run up the wall and into the barn somewhere round here. But for now I'm going to leave it long. I've got plenty because I only need to go there and you have to buy 25 metre rolls. But the next thing I'm going to do now is mix some concrete and just pour concrete in this hole just under the wall. I'll also hold that under there as well. So I need to make sure I've got enough at this end because once I've concrete that in, it's not coming back out. And then it's just a case of digging the trench and backfilling it as I go, and then I don't end up with huge piles of soil. I can just replace the turf as I work my way up. And then I've decided, rather than concreting it in, I've got all these terracotta tiles there. I'm going to cover it in terracotta tiles. At least that way if someone was digging there they'd have a barrier before they got there, but for now it'll do. Right, we need to mix some concrete. Probably a bit too sloppy that last mix. Right, it's just a case of rinse and repeat now all the way up the trench. We do some 0 temperatures tonight, so I just need to rake some soil or cover this concrete up so hopefully it doesn't freeze. like the double dig method. This, dig a bit out, put your pipe in, dig a bit more out.
Very out of vogue, John.
Is it? Can't I do a no dig pipe then? That's why it's got a little plastic cable on it, so you can pull the cable through later. Morning, it's a bit frosty. We was promised blue skies today, but not yet. It's about 10 AM, so I'm just having a leisurely start. I want to do the rest of that pipe this morning, but it involves mixing and pouring concrete, so I'm not going to do it when it's allegedly -3 out here. I'll have to wait for a little bit longer. Right, it's breakfast time, Grace. Come on then. When I came out yesterday, something's been having a dig round it and dug quite a large hole. I don't know what they're after, but that's the size of my foot, and that's even bigger. That stone that's in there, I threw back in there. They'd actually managed to dig that out. Not quite sure what kind of creature tried to dig that hole. So this end's blended quite well. Frost in the wheelbarrow, that's all the stones took out of that trench so far. And then I've got it round the corner, and today I want to dig up there and round there and then concrete that in. I'm tempted at the moment just to put that, the rest of this conduit behind the grasses. So for now I'm just going to put that extension lead inside the pipe. It'll be good enough for now. It's been good enough all along, so it'll be good enough for now. Well, it's 1 o'clock and the frost is still around. It's melted off the grass, but it's still around on all the plants. I don't think I'm going to get some concrete laid today. That doesn't stop me doing my digging though, so I can get on with the digging. I've not got that much digging to do, thankfully. I've done it all yesterday almost. But what I'm going to do is put this pipe in the barn. I'm going to drill an hole and put the conduit in. Be careful about saying pipe in France, you get some weird looks. It has another meaning. I'll let you Google it, I'm not explaining it. So I'm going to cut an hole in the barn, sort of waist height, just above the central noggin, and then see if I can drill it on an angle as well, so I can actually feed the pipe up without too much of a snake. I'll actually build a box in as a repair, so I've got to repair this side of the barn. So as I do that, I'll build a box in and hide this conduit. Lynn's not very happy about this big red conduit as it is, and I can get that. But that's probably not a job for today. Once I get it in, I'm going to pull this extension cable through the conduit and then plug it in, which means I don't have the cable running across the garden. Now, some of you elastic trickery experts are probably saying that that's not deep enough and it's not the right cable, and you're probably right, but for the last few years I've operated this workshop on this extension cable and it's worked fine, and it's connected to a circuit breaker at that end, so it's fine. But running an extension cable pretty much permanently across the garden is not really on, so I'm going to pull it through that conduit and still plug it in at that end for now anyway. So it's still a extension, it's just not trailing across the garden and getting run over and walked on by Lynn and Gracie and me. In fact, I caught Gracie almost having a piddle on it a few days ago, which was the thing that made me get on with this. Let's get that pipe in there, let's get the cable pulled out, let's get the digging done up there, which means I can route the conduit to where I need it, and then I might have to do the concrete in another, or I concrete it in like I did yesterday down here and then just throw soil over it. And I'm going to get on with it before I freeze, because it still is -2, so I'm going to work in my gloves because I'm a bit nesh. So I've got a central noggin about that high, so I'm going to try and feed this up behind these plants and drill a hole in somewhere like here, and try and drill it on an angle just so that pipe goes in a bit easier. I've got a 60mm drill bit. I broke the end off my auger. That's annoying, it was a new bit. It's not too bad. We'll hide that eventually. Actually give us, nearly lost it there, a little loop of nylon. Goes all the way through to pull your cable through with. So if I take my plug off, tie it and tape it to that nylon, I should be able to pull it through. We'll see, or if it turns into a mega battle. I might as well do it while I've still not got that end secured in, so I can actually pull it up the garden so it's relatively straight. Where's my gloves gone? The pipe's icy cold. I've got the extension hooked over through the eaves of the barn and I needed to untangle that before I put it through, or else it's going to be wrapped around and tied around the beam over the door. Whoops. Well, that was a disaster. It took far longer than I thought it was going to do. It was one of them 10 minutes jobs that's turned out to be 3 hours. Lynn's taking the mickey out of me because she said yesterday, shouldn't you put the cable through the conduit before you bury it in the ground? I went, no, it's fine, it's got a bit of nylon, you can just attach your cable and pull it through. All went swimmingly until I broke the nylon halfway through the pull. So I faffed around trying to rethread it. Eventually I went down to the DIY shop, and interestingly it's lovely and sunny down at the DIY shop, and bought some 2.5mm gauge electric cable, just a single strand of it, which I need anyway to wire up in here, and threaded that through the pipe and then got the cable on and pulled the cable with that. So at least I found out you could do that. Lynn's claiming the moral victory that she told me so yesterday, and probably quite rightly so, to be fair. As you can see though, I've got electric in here. I've still got some burying work to do outside, and for the first time ever I've wired a French socket into here, so we're now on French electric rather than a bit of a UK extension, one end French plug the other. I just need to finalise, bring this cable in, fix it in here. So I need to finish my cup of tea, and then I just need to tidy the cable up in here so it's not getting tangled up with the spades and the like, which eventually will go into the other side once I've finished the work in that side. That's my life in itself. When I've done this and when I've done that. Eventually now I've got this cable in, I'll probably pull a bigger cable through using that cable, and it pulled through quite easily actually once I'd worked out how to do it. I got that carried away doing it and I left the camera running. I flattened the battery, so you've been on charge for an hour or two while I've just finished off. So I'm going to dig around that step so I can properly bury the cable and the conduit. It's now about 3 o'clock and the sun's just broken through. I think it's a bit too late now to start mixing concrete, but I'll do the digging work and then hopefully tomorrow I'll get the concrete mixed and get it buried. It's not supposed to be as cold tomorrow, so hopefully we won't have a frosty start. So anyway, but I'm glad I've got electric in here, and I'm glad I've not got a cable across the lawn anymore. stones become currency, I'll have all the money. I'm happy with that. I'm going to clean the barrow and the tools off, and then I'm going to sprinkle that soil over that. I just need to sort that area out over there, then past the step and then through that flower bed, but that's a job for another day once the concrete's gone off. I'll keep doing this and raking it until it's flat. I've kept a couple of wheelbarrows of soil back, so just so I can feel the divots as it sinks. The good thing is I've got an extension cable now, it's not trailing across the grass. I'm going to pull another cable through before I complete all the electrics in here. But I think I'm still going to keep it as an extension. I think I'm going to fit one of those commando type sockets like you see on campsites over there. We've done quite a lot. I don't know when I've edited this video, it's probably going to be 10 minutes long, but probably done 20 hours work to get this trench across there, put the conduit in, pull the cable, and I'm going to go in the house now and have my tea, and no doubt for the rest of the evening get ribbed from Lynn for not putting the cable in the conduit before I laid it. Hey, you live and learn, don't you? What do they say about failure? It's the first attempt in learning.